It's getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. Million members died in the transatlantic. 6 million died. Jump overboard and never forget it. You can never be a Jew. You are octonized. They say the star done dumb. Y'all die. Yeah, easy for the truth and the opposite side. Not one person in the Bible had on the calendar. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth. I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947. You only know like 96. It's really only 7. Yeah, such against the world. Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Your synagogue is safe with them black hats. Your whole nation's digging dust. Aflax, bunch of thieves and culture vultures ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander, and Philip, you a convert, so tell me how the fuck did you Israel? That don't make you a people just because you better. All my people can't hate two people like y'all can't Hitler. Black was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give chills. Say y'all Jewish, cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the feast of Purim. UBK undefeated, it's an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, and out came his little red bats and they kosher heels. It's only 12 tribes. Y'all trying to make it 13. Esau his father's birthright, the Lord purchased it. He ain't the devil who is. I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi why he giving baby herpes. I don't know what's first that. Are you claiming that you are meant to be? I'm about to cancel. Everybody's trying to cancel me. I ain't afraid to speak. That's what I do. They run to the core. I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering the curses of all corner. I promise I'll punch you in person. I know it's an uncomfortable subject. They making millions of our culture. Black people suffering from it. Yeah. They don't believe in Christ. They hate Christ. Make a living off of niggas. They're a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth. Niggas terrified of the go. Death kind of poor. I ain't satisfied. That is absolute proof that they know we are real. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people in Egypt. What the hell means that they will play no. The same thing to a lot of people. Clap it up. Start off saying shalom, Yahweh Shem Shai, Brakathum. To all the brothers, Yahweh Shemar Latham, Bashem Shai. To all the sisters, the Akwaki. All right. Tonight, we what is today? Thursday, scripture breakdown. A week ago, we opened up the feast of dedication. Feast of dedication. You're right. What is the feast of dedication? What is that about?
It's a major. It's recommitting yourself to the Lord.
Right.
Acknowledging His laws, statutes, and commandments, and committing yourself to follow Him as His order.
Okay. Well, why did that happen? Where did it come from? In the Bible, you familiar with the story? Just the gist of it. I think you got something right here too.
Sir.
Basic, the rededication of the temple. I'll give you that much. So put it together. What you got?
It has to do with if I'm not mistaken, the temple was torn down by at one point in time by the heathens.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to infiltrate Israel and convince brothers to tear the temple down.
Right.
Long story short, and then the brothers, came up out of that, rebuilt the temple, and rededicated themselves to all such commandments.
Okay, yep, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Let's go to that. Let's go back. I'm gonna try to do a quick rundown of let's go to First Maccabees 1:1. Well, good shot. So Hanukkah is the feast of dedication, where, like the brother said, the heathens came in, the Greeks under Alexander, quote unquote, the world will call him Alexander the Great. We call him Alexander the Greek in the truth, because he wasn't a great person. He was the devil the Bible speaks of.
Right.
And he was the epitome of a devil, which is why our oppressor exalts him up as great. You got to think about that. Somebody that was so evil and disgusting goes down in history as glorious and excellent in the eyes of these devils. And the same thing goes on to the day. Like I said, I made a joke. I was talking to somebody. I ain't gonna put them on blast, but I'm like, man, I want to go see the new movie Napoleon. Y'all heard about that movie Napoleon? Okay, Napoleon. Y'all know who Napoleon was? Bonaparte. He was a king and emperor from France. And I believe around the 1700s, 1800s. I think more like in the 1800s, right? And basically, Napoleon was a legendary military figure. Some people say he's one of the greatest military minds to ever walk the planet Earth. This is where we get that word Napoleon complex. He was a short man, a small man, but he wanted to conquer the entire world and bring back the Roman Empire. There's always been people that have that spirit. There's another devil that arose in modern times that tried to bring back the Roman Empire. Who was that? Could come on mind.
Modern times?
Right.
I can't think of it, sir.
Take a shot. In the past 100 years. Yep. The past 100 years.
You could say that Mussolini.
Okay, he was one of them. There was another one too, right next to him.
You say Hitler.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Them two devils definitely wanted to resurrect the Roman Empire, and we're moving in the same fashion of a Napoleon. And now in history, these men that killed millions of people, stole everything, raped, robbed, and murdered people, they're known as great people in the eyes of our oppressor. And that's how Alexander the Great was, or the Greek became known for doing these things. All right, go ahead, Doc.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after the Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kitman.
Matter of fact, we're gonna have to come on mine. Go ahead and read. If you come closer up, about the shower, so they can hear you. You might want to bring, if you want to bring your cup with you or something like that. Have that brother bring it to you. You able to see it, or is it small? Other things, small letters on these little books.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
So Alexander was the son of Philip, the Macedonian. Macedonia is the area where the Greeks used to live at. All right, and he came into power. Keep going.
Verse 2. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth.
Right.
Verse 3. And went through to the ends of the earth.
Right.
And took spoils of many nations. Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
Right.
Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
What does it mean when it says the earth was quiet before him? Go ahead, you're right.
There was no one speaking against him.
Mm-hmm. What's an example of that?
And
put it in black terms.
that there was no one.
In NIGGA terms. I mean, put it in let me see, you know me, in movie terms. Let's see if you know what I'm talking about. The whole earth was quiet before him.
He didn't have no eyes. You know, everybody was stitched with it.
Mm-hmm.
They were scared to say something against him.
Right. What's the classic scene? Where's that from? The last thing. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. We're gonna run through it. And when Debo come around,
right,
I'll be quiet. You understand? Right. When he leave, I'll be talking again. Right. You understand? That's how he was moving. The whole earth was quiet around him. They didn't have nothing to say when he came around because they didn't want it with him. And it's a story that I think I told y'all before. They said that Alexander, when he was so good at conquering and his men were in such order following his commands, that he came to a town that was on a mountain, and the men in this town that was fortified, you know what I mean, people would not try to mess with it typically. And so nobody could conquer this big wall protected city. But Alexander, he came up to the mountain, he told him, he was like, basically, you know what I'm saying, y'all might as well just give up right now before we come in there and destroy y'all. And he told his men to march, you know what I'm saying? And they started marching one by one and fell off of the cliff to their death. They death. And kept doing it, you know what I'm saying? Like that Malcolm X scene they always talk about, when he tell them to march and they go, and they're like, man, no man should have that much power. You looking at Alexander, he's marching his men off of the cliff to their death, and they following that order. Once he told them to stop, and the people in the cities looking down or looking at him do this, yeah, you know what, we don't want it. Go ahead. They open the doors for him. They're like, we're not going to fight back. Who can fight against someone like that? If your men are willing to die off of your command, there's nothing that we can do to stop these type of soldiers. We never seen nothing like this. Like, talk about being on robot. They were on robot, you know what I'm saying? So that's the type of power that Alexander had. All right, keep going.
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
Right.
Verse 5. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die.
Right. So he's like the prototype of these type of men, of Hitler, of Napoleon, of Mussolini. He's the first one, you know what I'm saying, that was moving like that and conquering like that. But he became sick. A lot of people say he had syphilis because, you know, he was a deviant, a homosexual, whatever, you know what I mean? They usually, I think they said syphilis comes from sleeping with animals. Who knows what the heck he was doing? But he died at a young age. Keep going.
Verse 6. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
Right. He talked to his homies that he grew up with, and he told them he's going to divide his kingdom up. You can have this part, you can have this part, you can have this part. Keep going.
Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Right. So if you go look up Alexander the Great in history, it's going to tell you that he became a king at age 20 and he died at 32 years old. This is recorded history. And you go in the Bible and it says he reigned 12 years and then he died. It's the exact same thing. He died at 32 years old. All these things, this is history in the Bible. The same history book, they're going to say he reigned 12 years and he started at age 20. And the Bible says he reigned 12 years and he died after that. The same exact numbers. So you can't tell me this is not a history book. All right, let's skip down. Let's go to verse 10. We'll just skip for a little bit of time.
Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, and Antiochus, or Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Right.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Right. So it's the same thing in Egypt. If we don't get along with them, we're not going to have a lot of things. We'll do it on our own. We have a lot of sorrow. Let's join in with them. Let's make a covenant with them. Let's go hand in hand with them. You understand? And that's these wicked men out of Israel that tried to do that. The same thing that a Christian pastor does to this day. Right. Tells you to join America, voting for America, sing "We Shall Overcome." Just get along to go along to get along. You understand? That's what they were teaching these people, right? Our brothers and sisters. Let's keep going.
Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Keep going.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen.
Right. So they start following the way these heathens were doing. They built these gymnasiums where they would go in and have these wrestling matches the same way. It's like they built the Coliseum in Oakland. You know what I mean? They're using Greek culture and promoting it in our own land. And inside of these gymnasiums, the Greeks was known for fighting naked. You understand? And so they are bringing that culture to Israel, to the Holy Land. And it's just out of order. Let's just drop down to verse 20. We're going to see what he did.
Verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. Verse 21. And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof.
So that's the menorah. There's this giant candlestick of light that lights up our temple. That's it was like 6 feet tall. They showed different pictures and images of it when after Christ died, the Romans came in and destroyed our temple and burnt it to the ground. Before they burnt it down, they robbed us of all of our jewels and our gold and our money that we had inside of the temple, and they took it and stole it and took it back to Rome. And so there's a picture of it. I'll find it real quick. We'll keep going.
Come on. Verse 22. And the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crowns and the golden ornaments that were before the temple.
Right.
All which he pulled off. Verse 23. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. Verse 24. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were. Verse 26. So that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and the young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed.
Man, that's a heavy one right there. The beauty of our women was changed based off all the suffering and things that we went through. They didn't even look as amazing as they did before these heathens came. And that's like how, we look at certain sisters that might have been attractive at one point in time, but they've been so destroyed by the world. It's the topic earlier today with the class with the blonde hair. It's like you destroying yourself. You adding this fake lips and BBLs and all this thing. Like you didn't become a whole nother person trying to be beautiful, like a little Kim. You know what I mean? She getting all this surgery and stuff, and the world destroyed her so much she didn't become ugly. You know, when she was already beautiful. Go ahead.
So like in this context here, is it saying that like they rape the women and like they turn them like not beautiful because of the turmoil that they put them through? Like, you know, rape and just, you know how when at the time when they would conquer, they would just rape and destroy them just physically to turn them into looking like making them actually feel like nothing.
You could definitely say that. That's a part of it as well. I don't know if y'all brothers want to see it. I can show y'all after the class. But it's a picture, something carved in one of the Roman, I forget what it's called. It's like an arch they have in Rome today. And it's got the Roman citizens, soldiers carrying back the menorah from our temple and carrying back the jewels and golds back to Rome. And there's the Colosseum today in Rome right now. The Roman Colosseum, you'll see it in different movies, history. It's like half, the top of it, like half destroyed, but the rest of the Colosseum is built up. And that Colosseum was built by General Vespasian and his son Titus based off the money they stole from our temple. And so that's where they got the funding from, was from the Israelites. Then they took us as slaves and took us back to Rome and made us build up that Colosseum. And then they made us fight in the Colosseum to the death. You know what I mean? So these are all the evil things that these heathens have done. And this is one of the beginnings of this type of behavior. Let's see, where you at?
Verse 27, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 27. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness.
Right.
The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion.
Right. Read verse 30.
Come. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel.
Right. So these heathens spoke peaceably. They said, we're gonna stop doing this. They did something like you would call a treaty, and they did a peace treaty. And then after the peace treaty, it was deception. They came back and doubled back and destroyed and killed more of our people.
Right.
So let's drop down from there and let's go to verse 41.
Mm-hmm. Look at First Maccabees chapter 1.
So this is go to verse 39.
Verse 39. Her sanctuary was laid waste like
Go to verse 37, Baba Shah.
Come.
Uh-huh.
Book of First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her.
Right. Keep going.
Come, verse 39. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning.
What does that mean? As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. You want to try a shot at this?
It means that as glorious as Israel was, or as high, that the dishonor was even more so than what the glory was, and as excellent was as Israel was, the mourning was even deeper.
Right.
So it was increased.
Right.
So more dishonor and more mourning than what the prosperous years had ever did.
Right. And that's thinking about today about how our suffering is. It shows how great of a people we were. It's like as horrible, as great as we were, is how bad that we've become. And how bad as we become is how great that we were. It's showing you that our destruction is so legendary. You understand that the bigger they are, what is it? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's kind of that thing. Everyone you Google the word slaves, you're gonna see our people. You understand? You look at the drugs and everything we top number one, diabetes, heart disease, anything that's bad, we are number one in these things. HIV, whatever. Charleston White was making that comment. He said all the new cases of this and that STD is young black children. We are the best at being the worst. You understand? Because we fell so far from being great. That's how great we were. You know. So keep going where we at. Let's go to verse 41. Mm-hmm.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom, and all should be one people.
Now, this is the kicker right here. I went through all of this to get to this point. I think it's a while. You just checking it though. This is the point that I wanted to get to. I really just went back and did that. I was going to start right here, but just to give context of the day of Hanukkah and what it means and how it started. These heathens came and destroyed our people, then destroyed and defiled our temple and started to do all a manner of abominations in our temple. We were able to go back and start a guerrilla war with them under the priest Mattathias and his son Judah Maccabee. Right. It's also known as the Hammer. And they were able to defeat these Greeks and regain control of our temple. And they had to clean the temple and rededicate the temple. All right. Right. So this part right here. Wait for the brother real quick. You got anything to come about? You want to add on this real quick?
Well, if we when you went back, if I made back to the part where they were giving credence, build the gymnasiums and everything, like you brought out the history of them wrestling naked and everything, right? Right. I think somewhere there's history where it was documented that there was a lot of homosexuality going on in those arenas of the gymnasiums also. Right. Which carries on even all over till today. Certain sports clubs that you're looking, for example, a Judah, just speaking from experience, like, just for example, it's carries on today, which we all know that that's the spirit of that heathen nation. You go to a gym, you want to work out, whatever, you have to waste, whatever. Right. You may even want to, go to the sauna, but you going in there slow. What I mean? Right. But when you walk in there, like this is an example of the YMCA in Oakland. Because I seen it. Right. You can't even go in there because they're sitting around there naked. Right.
Old white men is notorious for that. You know what I mean? Just trying to go wash your hands, or you know what I mean? And this heathen just walking through like it's nothing. Right. And it's disgusting and foul. And like you said, it's their culture. And not only what's that going on, you got to think about sports. How the coaches, what do the coaches do? They hitting you on your tail, you know what I'm saying? On your rear. What part of the game is that? You know what I mean? Who started that? That wasn't our culture. That's Edomite culture. And you thinking it's just, good game. Nah, he's out there molesting these children. And they passing it on, making it seem like it's cool. And then come to find out later, the coach is literally molesting these children. He's acting like a father figure to them because they don't have any fathers. And then he's raising them up. But the whole time he's over there molesting these children. And so all of that culture is spread into the sports arena. You understand? To this day. And that's what was going on back then. If somebody can see me one more time, go ahead, couple months.
Yes, I want to take the class off track. And it's like that culture is so prevalent You know, I can speak for, you know, when I grew up as a kid and in high school and so on and so forth, right? It's like they try to continue that culture within our people.
Right.
You know, walking around locker rooms with nothing on,
Right.
and all this other kind of stuff. And a brother will try to understand, will be curious, damn, why do I feel uncomfortable?
Right.
Walking around, you know, because you're at home and you're not doing that stuff at home.
Right.
You know, you get to school and get a PE,
right,
because it was mandatory that you shower. You
right,
understand what I mean?
right,
So it was like they beat that culture into it so much where it gets to the point where, you know, and I know our brothers know this, that we want to be just like them. So we start taking on their customs, you know, get permission to build the gymnasium. And now you got it into the schools and everything. And, you know, you get comfortable walking around, seeing other men's junks. Like,
right. Go ahead, you're right.
If I may, what I don't want to bring out is so heavy because when you think about when they do like the combines, when NFL players begin to come in the NFL, they really be naked. Like they may have some boxers on or something like that, some small tight shorts. But the NFL culture is to wear small shorts. If it's not small shorts, they got a small tank top on.
Right.
And before they pick them on a team to decide what they work, they basically size them up like they did slaves.
Right.
I mean?
Right. And even to this day with the wrestling, a lot of cats, wrestling is an amazing sport and skill to have. To be able to wrestle and grapple is very important in self-defense. But a lot of blacks and Hispanics don't do wrestling because of the outfit they make you wear. You understand what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to wrestle. You know what I mean? I got older and realized like the skills they learned in wrestling could really save your life if you had to, you know what I'm saying, do hand-to-hand combat. But a lot of us are lacking those skills, and the Edomites have these skills. Now you're seeing it come out in UFC, how important it is to know these things, but we never wanted to do it because they put their culture on top of it, and that's why they wear, you know what I'm saying, the outfits to this day, like that. But it was never, you know what I'm saying, comfortable with us, but we became comfortable with it in these times. And we'll let the trooper take over for Reed, just let him know where we at.
okay.
All right. Well, you can go ahead, EI, but when you're done, just let him know, and we'll go from there.
42, sir?
Come. Read 41 more time.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Right. So after he didn't come, raped you, destroyed you, your woman has changed they look. Now you don't even recognize them. Your kids are dead. Stole your money. Now he sent a letter out talking about, yeah, we should all come together. That sound familiar? I think I heard this one before a few times. That's what we got going on right now here in America. That's exactly what we have going on here in America. I'm gonna keep going.
Come, verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right. Everyone around them, all the other nations, they agreed. The Asians agreed. The Japanese agreed. The East Indians agreed. The whoever else you want to name on the list, the Arabs agreed. Everyone came together. The Africans agreed. So what's happening in America? So what you see in the Bay Area, we should have a melting pot. And that's what's going to be good for all of us. Keep going.
Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to this religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. Verse 45. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
Right.
Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary with holy people.
Right.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Mm-hmm.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Right. So once again, that's what they did. We ain't gonna keep going through all these verses. The main point that I wanted to focus on, since we come into the end of the feast day, right, and the end of Hanukkah, is to definitely honor the great celebration that we have. Definitely honor the time that we were able to conquer our enemies through the power of the Lord, right? And get these Greeks out of our temple and rededicate the temple. But I want to go past it because there's a whole lot more after we took the temple back. And how did this time period lead up to the time period of Christ? And after the time of Christ, how did it lead up to what we're dealing with right now? And what lessons do we have to learn from these stories of where we went wrong? And that's what the Bible is for, to take these lessons, to take this history of knowledge and use it today so that we don't go through the same thing again. All right. So let's drop that. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 17, or 17, verse 15. All right. And this right here, while the brother get it, let me know when you got it. You got it? All right. This right here, first off, we know what's going on with the time of the war in Palestine and Israel. Talking to Captain Kwam all last night about some questions we can ask these heathens in doing these interviews, right? And one thing that came to my mind, because on my slavery, I meet people on the streets, they come up and talk to me, and certain things, what I mean, we talk about what's going on. And one of them, it was a Palestinian woman. She came up to me and she was saying that she's lost a lot of her friends right now because she's speaking out for her people. You know what I mean? She is like, especially the so-called Jewish friends that she had have left her, and she's realizing that they're racist, horrible people, and she doesn't really care that she's losing these friends because they are trying to justify the evil they're doing to her people, and she's starting to realize who these devils really are. Matter of fact, can anybody Google, does anybody know off of hand how many Palestinians have died since October 7th as of today? Approximately. You take a guess on a number while he gets it? What do you think?
Thinking maybe like 50,000.
Okay. You up there. He just threw out 50. Something like that, but not quite yet. But it's gonna be he just went shoot high. Shoot for it. Go ahead, sis.
About 80,000?
How you say?
80,000?
80,000 live. Nah, we're not there yet. Go ahead.
It's about 22,000.
Yeah, okay, that's more accurate. Yep. And I just looked yesterday, it was 18,000. See what we got, Mawaka.
It says, in Gaza, after a cross-border rampage by the Enclave's ruling Islamic group on October 7th, at least 17,487 Palestinians have been killed since then,
Mostly,
according to Gaza Health Ministry figures.
Mostly who? Does it say that part?
So
when I look it up, it says mostly women and children. You understand? About 18,000 people have died. That's not all the people that have been injured. And she's telling me, she said, and they don't even talk about the 25,000 children that are without parents right now, that are orphans. Go ahead.
So like I started want to say, like, after reading that, I was thinking like they must be pro-Israel because it doesn't mention at all how many women and children were killed. Right,
on that website, right? On that article. Exactly. The majority of them is women and children. So they're telling you that they are fighting this war and trying to stop Hamas, when in reality they're trying to inflict so much pain and suffering on the Palestinian people that they don't want them to ever rise up and do whatever they did again. And they want to wipe them out or make them move away from Palestine so that they can take more of that land, or they'll be so destroyed that they'll be in complete subjection to them that no one will ever want to do anything again. You know who they did that to? To the Native Americans. You know who they did that to? The so-called black men. You know who they did that to? The so-called Mexicans and Hispanics and Latinos. They destroyed it so far down. Anybody talks about standing up for your people, people call you crazy. People tell you you need to join in with these people. We should all become one. They're not telling you out of that because they really think that's the right thing to do. They're telling you because they're in fear. Because if you keep going against them, they're going to kill all of us. That's how they made us feel. When Nat Turner rose up, they made you feel like they're going to kill every last one of us. So instead of us fighting back, let's just get along. Let's just be friends with them. That's what they want us to do. But long story short, so she's sitting here telling me these things about how sad it is with the Palestinians. And it is a sad thing. It's a horrible thing to see all these children and women and whatever get killed. 18,000 people within 60 days is a lot of people to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, they doing numbers. Like you know, you play Call of Duty, you had 18,000 kills, you're gonna be the best nigga in the country. You understand? Like, they're doing that. They're efficient in killing people. And so, but my thing with her is when they always come to me with that, because they think that we black, we supposed to be like, oh man, you understand? Like, I know what that's like. We together now. Like, yeah, let's come on. Let's identify with our pain together. I always just push it back on them, like, you know what? America did this to the Native American Indians. And y'all, I didn't say it that way, but basically letting her know that y'all had nothing to say about it when it was the Native Americans' fault. And they just that same statement, they say, one injustice against somebody is injustice against everybody. So y'all let that slide. What makes you think they ain't gonna do that to y'all? The rest of the world is free game. If this nation was founded on exterminating the whole race of people, then why y'all get the benefit of doubt that they shouldn't do it to you? You shouldn't be surprised when America and Israel does that to you. You should expect it. But you didn't care when it happened to us. So guess what? Now it's happening to y'all. All right. But the question, go ahead.
You said 60 days, right?
Yeah, it was like, hey, was it October to November? Yeah, about a little bit more than 60 days.
I did a little math.
Mm-hmm.
That's 300 souls a day.
Yep, I think that's a number I saw too. They kill about 300 people a day. You know what I mean? Easily, with no question, with no hesitation. And they're just trying to set an example. But the question I came up with when we were talking to Kat was basically, if some Chinese people or different African people moved to Israel and was able to start a business and become prosperous in Israel, are they a part of the problem? Are they occupying Palestinian land? Because they want to say free Palestine because the Israelis are living on their land. I'm saying if somebody moved there, they live there, are they a part of the problem? If I move to to Israel, and I'm up there and I become an Israeli citizen and I make a business and become a millionaire, I'm sitting on stolen land. Am I a part of the problem too? And if they say yes, then what does that mean to who they are? This Palestinian woman is sitting here making $150,000 a year while I'm on food stamps in Section 8, while we still living in the ghetto in the bar. You understand what I'm saying? We stuck here poor because these people oppressed us. They come over here and enrich themselves and then act like they're the victim over there. But you're the ones that are colonizing and oppressing us over here. You building up liquor stores in our communities and doing all this in our neighborhoods. It's no problem when y'all do it. So you know what? Y'all deal with your own problems. Don't come to us asking for us to join and be in a coalition with y'all. we're the last person that you should be asking. We've been the most destroyed. It's like a woman that's been abused and a rape victim. You want her to come up and speak for other women that's been raped and she on drugs. She in a crack house right now. She on pills and she is working at the strip club. Why do you want her to be your Martin Luther King? She ain't going to school. She ain't educated. She ain't worried about nothing that you talking about. They want us to be the ones that speak up for the Palestinians when they need to be going to find the people that have been doing this to them. But Salaki, but this whole thing, that's why I'm getting this thing about joining in with these heathens, because they've been trying to push that on us. Go ahead, up.
Yes, sir. Once again, it is dangerous. All the things that are happening over there,
Right.
Those people,
Right.
people fighting over our land. I just want to point out that nothing compared
Right.
to what the Lord is going to do. He comes back.
Yeah, right.
The scripture says, prepare slaughter for his children,
Right.
for the iniquities of their fathers.
Right.
So that's nothing compared to what the Lord is going to do.
Damn right.
Wow.
It's gonna be a glorious day. You understand? All right, let's drop that. Let's go. Where we at? Deuteronomy. Let's read that one. All right.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
Right. So this law was put into place since we can't put another king over the children of Israel. We can't have someone else from another nation. It has to be our brother, our brethren that's put over us, that's ruling us. And it can't just be someone that is just black or Hispanic or Native American. It has to be someone that the Lord is chosen, that the Lord is with. We fall for that all the time. There was a guy that was supposed to be the governor. I remember Commander Giuliani talking about this in Black Watch a few years ago. It was a black man that was running for governor of Florida, and everybody talked about him so positively and so great. Obama came out and endorsed him, and everybody was like, yeah, he's the next dude. 2-3 months later, it came out he was smoking meth in a hotel room with another man, cheating on his wife with this man. You understand? And he was a disgusting bastard. He didn't become the governor of Florida. And the truth came out, you understand, of who he was. And black people have been fooled by that too. And anybody that's black, we just say, okay, that should be our leader. We're going to go with him. No, a man of the Lord should be your leader. Read that one more time.
Verse 15.
Right.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Right.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Who you voted for.
Who the Lord thy God shall choose.
Who you think is educated.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Because he got a good business and is rich like Jay-Z.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Nah, great wise man who created Revolt TV and Bad Boy and invested millions of dollars in Ciroc. And he is a great entrepreneur like P. Diddy, Sean Combs.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Right. We uplift and exalt all these people because they have education, because they have money, because they have power, because they have fame. We want to follow all these people and make them our kings, make them our queens. That's what they call Beyonce, right? She the queen bee. She the queen of black women because of her talent in dancing and singing and business. But it's not who we're supposed to follow. We're supposed to follow someone that the Lord our God has chosen. Keep going.
One from among thy brethren
Right.
shalt thou set king over thee.
Right.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee,
Man.
which is not thy brother.
We love other nations so much, and it's so much in our spirit to be accepted because we're such a humble people and forgiving and righteous people at heart. We have to put it in our laws. The Lord had to put it in our laws to not put ourselves underneath these people because we will welcome them in. We'll try to join hands with them. We'll feel bad for the Palestinians. We'll want to go in and say this is Black Lives Matter and the Palestinian together marching. We'll want to say we need to send money and fly over and help Israel like Floyd Mayweather. We'll do everything to assist these other nations when they're going through calamity. Like, could you imagine that? Everyone knows that Jewish people have all of the money and power and resources, and Floyd Mayweather is sending money to help them out, sending his plane to help them out. What kind of sense does that make? It's because we've been destroyed, and this is where all these things started. This is where we went wrong. It's been going on for years and years and years. So it's a great thing that we were able to get them out of the temple and rededicate it. But we're going to go a little bit past that and see what happened after that, where we went wrong. How come we didn't just get the kingdom and gain the kingdom after that? How come Christ didn't wake up and come into a world where we kicked the heathens out of Israel and we ran over our temple and built it up and we had a free sovereign nation? Go ahead, up.
So what you're saying is so heavy because that reminds me of just the movements that's been taking place as far as, specifically Judah.
Right.
A lot of the time, Judah come together, and when you look at all the civil rights movements and everything else, they were so intertwined on coming together with other nations, whether it be the oppressor or alternative lifestyles. Any way they can have something come apart to be with them, to make themselves feel whole, instead of focusing on the main objective, which is themselves.
Right.
And they throughout all that, they end up giving away what they actually worked so hard for.
Right.
It never came from it, went to everybody else.
Exactly. And all of that really stems from our lack of fear for the Lord and a fear for our enemies. And this is what happened. So I'm going to read, let's go to the New Testament. Let's go to John chapter 19, verse 15. And we're going to go one more in John, and we're going to go back to Maccabees. And we'll just read a lot in Maccabees. We'll close out from there. Let's see where we went wrong, how we ended up in this situation, and then how does this tie into today? All right. So John chapter 19, verse 15.
It's kind of on time.
Go ahead.
This is the book of John, chapter 19, verse 15.
Right.
But they cried out, "Away with him! Away with him! Crucify him!" Pilate saith unto them, "Shall I crucify your king?" The chief priests.
Hold on, Sulaki. I pulled the wrong one. Hold on, we're gonna go back to John 11 and 48 first. Yeah, Bible shot. Let me get that one real quick. That line was too heavy to jump into.
This is the book of John, chapter 11, verse 48. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
Go up. Go to verse 45.
Verse 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did believed on him.
All right, these miracles, all these great things he had done, specifically the story of him raising Lazarus from the dead, was a story immediately above it. When you go up, when you come down, you're seeing that all these Israelites were wanting to follow Christ from seeing these great things and hearing about these great things he had done. Keep going.
But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done.
These were snitches. Let's just say what it is. Let's call it what it is. These was haters. Christ had some hating ass niggas watching him. They were the dude in Belly eating a banana. You understand? They came from out of town getting money. If you seen the movie Belly, and them cats from New York came to this small town, started making a whole bunch of money. And this one dude local, he eating whatever on the side of the street. He like, man, I don't like that. I don't like that ish that these cats are coming out here doing better. I done lived here my whole life. I know these streets. How the heck are they making more money on my block than I am? I don't like that. I'm gonna drop a dime on them cats. He went and told the police and got them caught up because of their success in his area. These people didn't see this and say, you know what? The Bible is prophesied we're going to have a savior that's going to come and deliver us from our enemies. It talks about that in Luke, the first chapter. I think somewhere around the 60th verse, 50th to the 60s, somewhere in the 50s or 60s. It talks about that the Lord will come and save us from our enemies. Matter of fact, to come on mind, can you find that for me, Baba Shah? Luke chapter 1, somewhere on there. Now, going back to this, they didn't look at Christ and saying, this cat is amazing. He's doing these things. This is the man that's coming to deliver us from our oppressor. They looked at it as a threat, as an enemy to them because of their jealousy and their greed. Keep going, Bible Khan.
Verse 47.
Right.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. 48. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
This one right here, you know what? I like this precept. It's a good cut for that. God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that all who believe in him shall have everlasting life. Like this, all men right here is clearly not talking about different races, because it says the Romans are going to come and take away our spot. The all men is Israelites. It's talking about Israelites. It's saying all the men in Israel is going to follow him. And then the Romans will come and take our spot because we're not controlling the Israelites no more. And so these people were working with the Romans. They were working underneath the Romans. The Romans put them in power. And another class was talking with Kakamama, explaining that even our high priest had a certain garment. The Romans took the garment home with them. So it's like we looking at somebody, you know how it is, the king got to have a certain stick with him to show that he's the king. Got to have a certain crown with him, shows that he's the king. He's the one you listen to. You pass your crown to your son. When your son come in wearing that crown, you're like, okay, that's who the king wanted to be in charge, because he has on this specific thing. With a high priest, he had a specific garment that was passed down, and the Romans were taking that garment after the priest did his job. So it's like they loaning it out to you. The only way you're going to be in power is if you get your garment from the Romans. And so if they didn't like how you were teaching, they wouldn't let you be the high priest no more, and they would give it to someone else. So that's why it's saying he will come and take our power from the Romans. He would come and remove us from our position. All right? Go ahead, you're right.
That's kind of how they do just teaching about in general in America.
Right.
You can't be if you want to be a certified priest in America, according to America, you have to teach it the way they want you to teach it. If you don't, when you go to the seminary schools, if you don't teach it the way they
exactly.
School,
damn. Nah, that's an excellent point. That's exactly it. That's what they do in the day. If you don't teach the doctrine of the Christian church, you think you're going to a black church, but they're learning it from these heathens, these Edomites, and their whole breakdown comes from them. And they're not allowed to teach anything different from what they teach. So really, it's some heathen talking to you, but you think it's your brother, and that's exactly what they're doing. You thinking the high priest is representing the Lord, the Sadducees and Pharisees are representing the Lord, but really they're representing the Roman Empire. Right. So let's go back to what I had. Did you find that could come on by? Luke 1, and I believe 65, 60, let me see, 50, let me see. Where it says, bless the Lord, he has, yeah, I think 70, let me see, these glasses are dark. There it goes, 71. You can start at verse 69. Mhm.
Book of Luke, chapter 1.
68, Slaki, verse 68.
The book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of
For the
his
whole
servant,
world?
and for us,
For Africans,
for us,
for the Chinese,
for us,
for the Indians,
for us,
for the Edomites,
for us,
for the Edomites,
for us,
for the Amalekites,
for us,
for the Jewish people,
for us,
for the Palestinians,
for us,
for the Japanese.
for us.
You understand? Keep going.
So come in the house of his servant David.
Yeah, it ain't all these nations. It's for us. The Lord raised up Christ for us, for the children of Israel, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 70. And as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. Verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies.
So we should be saved from some spiritual awakening or some, come to some conclusion on some spiritual Israel. Is that what it's talking about? We should be Holy Ghost and saved and heaped down and pressed over. We should be saved from our poor bank account. That's what T.D. Jakes is talking about. You saved from the bill man. You saved from, I don't know, the car dealership trying to repossess your car. That's what they make the Bible about.
Right.
It's about basically paying your bills and getting more money. You understand? That's what it is about to them. But this is what it really was about. This is what Christ really came for. Read verse 71 again.
That we should be saved from our enemies.
Right.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
Good night. That's a different story that you're reading. It's a different type of Jesus that you're learning about. He's saying we're trying to get saved from our enemies, from all the people that hate us, from these Greeks, from these Assyrians, from these Babylonians, from these Persians, from these Medes, and from these Romans. That's who over us right now. Who's reigning over the children of Israel. We're supposed to get free from our enemies. This is what they prophesied about Christ being born. That was his mission, was to come and free us from our enemies. Not to join hands with them, not to sing "We Shall Overcome" with them, not to say that little white boys and little white and black boys and little white girls should hold hands in hands, Martin Luther King, Martin Luther the Coon. That's not what Christ died for. He came to free you from the enemies. You understand? Most High in Christ, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So let's go back to John. What I want, 19 and 15? Or was it 11 and 58? Whichever one.
11:48.
Is that the first one we read or the last one we read? Okay, let's go to 19 and 15 then.
19:15.
Yeah, let's move on. I had it backwards over here in my notes, but right, and I might go up a little bit too. Like, well, what does it say?
It says, verse 15. Also, like it. This is the book of John, chapter 19, verse 15.
Right.
But they cried out, "Away with him! Away with him! Crucify him!" Pilate saith unto them.
Go to verse 14.
Verse 14.
Right.
And it was the preparation of the Passover, and about the 6th hour, and he saith unto the Jews, "Behold your king."
Right. They said, "Look at Christ. This is your king. This is your Mashiach. This is who you're supposed to be following. Behold, this is your king. You want to free him? Let him go, right? This is your king. Why are y'all accusing him and doing all this, man? This is the one that's supposed to be in charge over you people. This is in the right sense, who the Lord sent to you. But they don't look at it that way. Go ahead, you're right.
So like it, sir.
Mhm.
If I may, and it was the preparation of the Passover.
Right.
Is this around the time basically that they were unalive with Christ?
Yeah. This is the trial that they had. They brought him before Pontius Pilate, right? So basically, where we at with it? It says, I'm gonna say you go up. Go to verse 10 a little bit.
Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Then saith Pilate unto him, Speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have power?
Oh no, hold on. So like I keep doing this. You know I like doing this, but I learned this from the men above me. So like this is what I see. I mean, we could go through all. I ain't gonna go through all of it, but read verse 9 real quick. This is important. I like this part. It's gangster. Mm-hmm.
And went again into the judgment hall, and saith unto Yahushua, Whence art thou? But Yahushua gave him no answer.
He did what?
Gave him no answer.
Like Pontius Pilate is the governor. The Israelites is coming to him. They convicted him in our court, but they can't put him to death because the Romans had the law that basically we didn't have the power to do death penalties. We could like beat you, you know what I mean? We in our own culture. I don't know how could you put it like it's the best way to. I'm trying to think of any examples in modern times. Basically, I can't think of anything off that. Go ahead.
Like the chain gang. Like if you would throw a person on a chain gang, but you wouldn't unalive them.
No, more so like go ahead.
That's like it would be similar to how like in South America you have a political enemy
Mm-hmm.
and you're not able to kill them because that would make the people rile up. So you just have to get rid of them the legal way.
No, okay. I might say something like this. Let me think. I might try to put it like this. In Mexico, they got the cartels, right? And the cartels kind of run the government in Mexico, in certain cities, certain towns. They're the real government. They're the real police. Everything that goes on in there is through them, under them. They can go in and they can kill people that are Mexican, but they don't agree with or not going with what they're saying and doing. In essence, right? But what happens if they kill an American? What happens if they kill an Edomite? The federal government of America comes down. You kill a DEA agent in Mexico, you're going to find out who really runs Mexico. You're going to see the FBI runs Mexico. You're going to see the CIA runs Mexico. You're going to see that America runs Mexico. Mexico don't run Mexico. And the cartel don't run Mexico. The CIA runs Mexico and FBI runs Mexico. Because if they kill a DEA agent, everybody dying down there. Everybody going to jail. Ain't nothing moving. Ain't nothing getting across the border. It's going to make it hell for everybody. When they killed a couple black people in Mexico, for some reason it made national news and it shit. They like, nigga, they gave the niggas that. They like, nah, we don't want that problem. We don't want to be seen in a bad light and make the block hot underneath the oppressor of America. So it's the same way. Like, you can beat up your neighbor, you understand? You can fight in Israel, but if you start killing your own people and doing that, the only person that has the authority to have life or death should be the Roman government. So they told the Sadducees and Pharisees that, yeah, if you got little issues, little problems, local problems, somebody stealing, somebody doing this or that, y'all can handle that. But if you start killing people, that means y'all the ones in charge. Nah, you got to come to us so we can say, okay, it's okay to kill him. So they sent Christ before Pontius Pilate to judge the matter to see if he should say, you know what, we are going to kill him. And his own people are going to the oppressor and they're like, yeah, you need to kill him because he's coming up against you. He's going against Rome. He is a revolutionary. We're not trying to go against Rome. We want to work with Rome. He's the problem. Put him to death. And that's what's going on. But when Christ came in front of him, he didn't say anything. Pontius Pilate interrogating him. Christ is not saying nothing. He was like, nigga, don't you know I could save your life? You should be trying to kiss my boots. You should be trying to bow down to me. You should be trying to beg for forgiveness. You know how y'all do when y'all go to court. I ain't saying none of y'all in this room. But you put on that tie, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You come in there, you might try to shed a tear, you know what I mean? I got a job, sir, Your Honor, and you know, I got a this and that and a family, Your Honor, and this and that, and you try to finesse your way and get some mercy from the judge so you don't have to go to jail. He's surprised like this nigga in there like, yeah, I ain't saying nothing to you. Nigga, you beneath me. I really am him. But read that part again, read verse 9.
Verse 9. And went again into the judgment hall.
Right.
And saith unto Yahushua, whence art thou?
Right.
But Yahushua gave him no answer.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 10. Then saith Pilate unto him, speakest thou not unto me?
Like you gotta say it with some arrogancy when you read it. Read it again with like an arrogant bastard. Not you, but like get the spirit of a devil. Like damn near I hear like a country redneck. Like, boy, you ain't speakest thou not unto me, boy. You don't know who I am. I'm the sheriff around here. I run these parts. You understand? Read it again. You ain't got to do the accent, but it's like, go ahead.
Then saith Pilate unto him, speakest thou not unto me?
Right.
Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee?
Nigga, I can get you lynched right now.
And have the power to release thee?
Right. Or I can let you go. You ain't gonna say nothing to me? You gonna come in here with this disrespect? Reality? Wrong. I said the country redneck, you know what's a better example? It's the Italian mafia. The Romans always think of Italians. I'm Don Corleone. You coming in front of me? In my house, in my place? Don't you know I can get you killed or I can set you free? You Muliani? You're not gonna talk to me? It's disrespect.
Right.
That's how he's looking at Christ. It's the same spirit. These are the same people. The Romans and Italians, the same people. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Yahushua answered, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore, he that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin.
Right. This, you're not even really running this. You think you are. The Lord is running this. The people that brought me here to you, the sin is going to be on them. It's really my people. They out of order, and they working with you. But I'm not scared of none of this or none of that. And this is the reason why. So where we at? Let's drop back down to where we at? Was it 19 or 18 or somewhere? 15.
I like it, sir.
Go ahead.
So within this,
no, yeah, that's what we're supposed to keep going to. So
like it. So does the blame go to the Jews for this?
Of him being put to death. I mean, it's everybody's accountable. The Romans and the Israelites that sold him out. You know what I mean? In essence, it's definitely his people. Like they wouldn't even known who he was. In essence, the Romans weren't even caring about Christ because of how he was moving. It's like he wasn't moving as a violent revolutionary to where it was on their radar. He going around healing people and helping people out so they could give it. They didn't care about that. He's just some religious guys. A lot of religious guys running around. A lot of messiahs running around talking about they're going to save the people. But them putting him on blast, they letting the Romans know, like, nah, he's doing something that y'all might want to pay attention to because they felt like they were going to lose their power. We're going to explain it right here. Let's just keep going from there. Verse 12.
Verse 12. And from thenceforth, Pilate sought to release him, But the Jews cried out,
Right.
saying, if thou let this man go, thou art no Caesar's friend.
Thou art not Caesar's friend. Huh?
Whosoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar.
Like, yeah, right here he's saying if Christ says he's the king, there's only one king. It's either Caesar or it's Christ. It's either Joe Biden or it's Commander General Yohanan. You understand? Who we gonna follow? We're gonna follow this man or we're gonna follow that man. But if we say that this is our leader, then you're saying you don't listen to that person. And so they're trying to remind Pilate of how dangerous it is to say that you are a king or this is the kingdom of heaven or this is the Messiah, this is the leader that everyone in Israel is going to follow. Go ahead. That's a revolutionary statement to say the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Because if y'all building a kingdom on earth and he's the king, then that means you're going to go to war with the Romans. Go ahead, Doc.
So was this saying, so Pilate wanted to show mercy unto Yahushua?
Right, come.
Verse 13. When Pilate therefore, verse 13. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Yahushua forth and sat down in the judgment seat in a place that is called the pavement, but in the Hebrew, Gabbatha. Verse 14. And it was the preparation of the Passover, and about the 6th hour, and he saith unto the Jews, behold your king.
Right, this is him. Go ahead.
Verse 15. But they cried out, away with him, crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, shall I crucify your king? The chief priests answered, we have no king but Caesar.
This is so evil for him to say that. Because we just read in Deuteronomy that if you know the law, these the same people that wanted to kill Christ for eating food without washing his hands. They wanted to kill Christ and his men for picking corn on the Sabbath. They were following the law. They said the letter of the law said, you can't work on the Sabbath. You picking corn. Y'all need to die. You healing people on the Sabbath is technically work, used to die. You eating food without washing your hands, you need to die. But this law, which says you can't have no king that's not of your brethren, they break that law, they don't gotta die. Now, which is more important? Which affects our nation, our people more? You over here picking corn on the Sabbath, or putting a whole nother nation over your whole people? The same thing that they do to us, what would that be to us in the truth? Well, a man shouldn't have long hair. Y'all got braids. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all evil. But then y'all put us and tell us to go vote in the Christian church for Joe Biden. Which is more evil? We over here, we say some curse words. They can't. Right. Or we talk about not eating pork. We evil because we don't want to eat pork. That's what a Christian would tell us. But they will tell you that you should make it okay to have an abortion. Y'all know that's what they say. Like, the majority of white Christians don't believe it's okay to have an abortion. But black Christians say it's okay. I'm going to look that number up for y'all in a minute. But go ahead, Doc.
If I may, there are two things. What I got out of this context is that Pilate knew who the king was. Because he's telling them here, so you want me to crucify y'all king?
Nah, it's not like that. You got to think of Italian again.
But
it's the king of Harlem. Look at this Frank Lucas, the nigga king. He ain't really calling the king, the nigga king. It's y'all king, the king of the niggas. Why y'all ain't like him? You understand what I'm saying? It's like he's not saying he's a king. He's saying he's the king of the niggas. It's y'all king, the king of the Jews. Y'all should like him. He the best y'all got. Why y'all making him to be a bad guy? He never did nothing to us. Y'all want him killed, but he's the king. He's the king of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's small. He patting him on the head at the same time. Because why, if he really looked at him as the king, why he just threatened his life? You understand what I'm saying? You don't respect him as his king. He's your king. But my king is Caesar. And that's why the other Israelites try to pit him against Caesar. Like, you know, friend of Caesar, if you call him king, because there ain't no king but Caesar. So why call anybody a king? Ain't nobody the king out here but Caesar. You understand? Go ahead, you're right. Then I got you to go.
So, like, if I may, is this kind of like similar to the fake Israelites who be like, you know, Trayvon Martin should have did what the oppressor said.
Right. Oh yeah.
He shouldn't have.
That's
you know
definitely
what I mean?
spirit.
Like, that's the same type of spirit.
That's
right?
exactly the same spirit.
Like,
That there ain't no king but Caesar.
right.
You supposed to listen to this white man. That's what they said. Why you ain't listen? Why you ain't stop? Because that's their king. That's who they worship. They worship the police. They worship the American government. They worship the law that says you can only have one wife. All those things is what America promotes, and that's how they want to live. That's how they want to live in that purple organization. But go ahead and come on, Mike.
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
In this situation, everybody has a role to play.
Right.
Right. So because of Israel's disobedience to the Most High, there can only be one sacrifice. That sacrifice can only be Christ.
Right.
Right. So understand this is that all things that are happening. That's why Christ is, for lack of a better term, is nonchalant about the situation.
Right.
Because if you look at it, if I may, in Matthew chapter 26,
okay,
verse 53, he says, "Thinkest not, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?"
Right.
So, but the scripture has to be fulfilled.
Right.
So Christ could have stopped this at any moment.
Right.
No one, like if I may, no one took his life.
Right.
He laid his life down.
Yeah, right. And that's why he didn't say nothing to Pilate. Like, he's not scared. He's trying to put fear into him. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to put fear into Christ by talking to him crazy like that. Like, don't you know I can get you killed? Don't you know I can set you free? Right. Like, that set you free part was the real power. That's what they do to us now. Like, they don't come to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King or Huey P. Newton or anybody that might have stand up. We ain't gonna say Martin. We know he was from the jump. But imagine there was a brother that tried to really stand up for our people and genuinely care. They don't just come with them and say, we're gonna kill you. If you know anything about the mafia, what do they do first?
Like I said, they threaten you.
Lie. Just said the exact opposite. Pay attention. No, I'm getting that from Quebec. He said, I'm standing on business. So he said, lie. Stop joking. I'm messing with you. Go ahead, sis.
They go after your family?
Lie. No threats. I'm going to tell y'all for time's sake. They give you an offer you can't refuse. Before they offer to kill you, they offer you money. The mafia said, you know what? We just want a little piece of this or that. Or matter of fact, I see you doing good business. We'll give you this. You can have this part of the town. Just do what we say. Give us a percentage and you can run all of Harlem. You can be the heroin dealer, everything. Just keep doing what we're doing. As long as you're underneath us, everything all right. And they were like, nah, I'm not going to take that money. I'm going to do my own thing. All right, we're going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get an offer you can't refuse. Which one do you want? You want to live, or you want to live and be underneath us, or you want to die and be dead? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one are you going to take? Offer you can't refuse. This is how Romans always been operating the same way. He like, I'm not a bad guy. You should be my friend. I like you. You cool. I will kill you, but as long as you cool with me, I'm going to let you live. You know what I'm saying? And then people out of fear, they're like, you know what? That money don't sound too bad. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel like they can defeat the mafia. They don't feel like they have enough manpower to go against them or connections to go against them. I might as well just get down with them and be alive instead of fighting them and being dead. But Christ is like Kakama Ma said, very important. He's like, man, you can't kill me. This is what he told him, basically. You think you can kill me? Let this happen. I'm laying down my life. You ain't about to kill me, so why would I even be scared of you or try to capitulate, as they say, meaning like bow down to you and make you seem great when you are my future slave? You know what I mean?
So like,
Go ahead.
I mean, is that what they kind of did to Judah? Is that what
Yeah.
the effects of them taking the few shackles?
Like Judas, I'm in a way basically saying like fear. They didn't bribe. They didn't like. He came to them. He came. It was his own people. It wasn't the Romans he came to. So it's similar in a way. I don't know exactly what some people say. Don't quote me. This is not official breakdown, but I think he had an issue with Christ giving oil or letting that woman use that oil to wash his feet. And so he was like, that oil could have been used to make money. And when Christ had wasted that money in his mind, he kind of didn't want to follow Christ anymore, basically. And so he was like, nah, it ain't right. You know what I mean? What he's doing. So he questioned his leadership, and then he wanted to go do something to get him out of power. But
so he didn't get the big piece of chicken.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's it right there. Same thing. Yep. I'll take that. All right. Where we at? Let's go. Now we're gonna go back to Maccabees, and we'll close out first Maccabees chapter 8. We're gonna read a lot in here, and we're gonna see how did these Romans get to this position. So after we got them out of our temple, as these candles come to an end on our menorah, you know what I mean? We go back into this next phase of our calendar as Israelites. We're going to focus on the timeline of what happened with them after and what we need to learn from that, how we need to use this information today. You understand? All right. Let's go.
Verse 1?
Yep.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly, accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of enmity with all that came unto them.
All right. What's the definition of enmity? Somebody find that, Baba. Amity. And so he's saying the Romans, they love to make alliances with people. It's the same way America. That same thing we read earlier. The Greeks said it first. All nations should come together. All of us should be in one religion. We should all worship the same, act the same, be together, be one nation. That's going to bring world peace, and we all can grow and prosper, be a melting pot. Go ahead, you're right.
This is just
Right.
like more commitment, more of a truce.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Yep.
The definition for enmity is a friendly relationship.
Right. What else does it say? You got anything else on this similar?
That was the only definition for it.
Okay, up here we got friendship, friendliness, peace. That's what you said. Truth, peacefulness, peaceableness. More definitions. That's pretty much, you understand? So that's it. Harmony, peaceful, friendship. That's what they were trying to do with the Romans. The Romans, if you're good with them, they'll be good to you. You know what I mean? Verse 2.
Verse 2. In that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars and noble acts which they had done among the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute.
Right. So you got one European power, the Greeks. Alexander the Greek builds this great empire. He dies. He puts 4 people in power, splits up the kingdom into 4 different zones. I think you got, the Seleucid Empire. You got Ptolemy is Egypt. You got Cassander. And I think, what's the other? I always forget the other one. Cassander and let's see, it's some words like it. But it's 4 of them. Like I said, I know it's getting late. I'm going to keep you right holding on. I know the brother been up all day. We're gonna hold on for you. You know what I mean? But basically, these 4 cats, things start to go down. We win a battle against them, but then they start really coming back and fighting against us. And so since we're losing against the Greeks after we rededicated the temple, you're right. You see what I'm saying? So we took our temple back, but then we had to keep fighting after that. So it wasn't the end of the story. It wasn't just happily ever after. We ride off in the sun, we got our temple. It's like, nah, they still over there and over here and over there, and they still coming back trying to get that get back. So in the midst of this, we start actually taking L's. A couple of men went out, I think in Maccabees, the 5th or 6th chapter, talks about one of the younger brothers, I believe his name was Jonathan. He got the order to stand down. He wanted to get some fame and some glory and took the men out to battle, and they ended up losing 3,000 Israelites because he didn't follow the order. You know what I'm saying? The Lord wasn't with him. So all these things are happening. We start losing. They start losing faith. And so they want to go and make a deal with these up and coming nation called the Romans. They weren't the Roman Empire yet. They were underneath the Greeks at this time, but they were slowly gaining power and gaining steam. So this is who we were looking to, or Judas was looking to. All right, keep going.
Verse 3. Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of mines, for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold which is there. Verse 4. And that by their policy and patience they had conquered all the place.
And you don't gotta keep calling out every verse. You can just keep reading through. We're just gonna keep reading for a minute. You just keep reading now.
Though it were very
until I stop you, Bible shop. Yep, go ahead.
Though it were very far from them, and the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited. Yes. So they had discomfited them and given a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year.
Right. So they slowly conquering all these different lands, people from far away, and people starting to give them tribute, pay taxes to these Romans. Keep going.
Besides this, how they had discomfited in battle Philip and Perseus, king of the Cittims, with others that lifted up themselves against them and had overcome them.
Right.
Also Antiochus, the great king of Asia, that came against them in battle, having 120 elephants, with horsemen and chariots, and a very great army, was discomfited by them.
Right.
And how they took him alive and covenanted that he and such as reigned after him should pay great tribute and give hostages, and that which was agreed upon.
Right. So they bullied Antiochus or Antiochus, who was bullying the Israelites. The Romans came along and got him out of the way, apparently. They were attacking where he got all these elephants and he got all these chariots. They were able to conquer him and get him out the way. Keep going.
Okay. And the country of India.
It's like if I stop you, then that one, read the verse again. I'll just say verse 7.
Verse 8.
While you're rolling, just keep rolling. The what?
Verse 8. And the country of India and Media and Lydia and of the goodliest countries. And of the goodliest countries they took of him and gave to King Eumenes. Moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy them, and that they, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain, and fighting with them slew many of them, and carried away captives their wives and their children, and spoiled them, and took possession of their lands, and pulled down their strongholds, and brought them to be their servants unto this day. It was told him besides how they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms and idols that at any time resisted them.
Right. This is the little horn. This new thing that's coming up called the Roman Empire is coming out of nowhere, but it's coming up fast and it's coming up strong. And so Judas Maccabees is looking at them like, we need to get with these cats. Basically, I can't think of any. What movie they always talking about? Get down or lay down? Is that state property or any? You know what I mean? Like the new kids on the block that's coming and terrorizing and taking over. You like, yeah, we just got out of this war with these other people. We might as well side. He funking with them too. You know what I mean? They thinking like a military strategist, like people in the world, just like Taiwan and China, or what Ukraine and Russia. America sides with certain people in these wars. Israel and Palestine. America got Israel's back. Like they always have done these alliances to defeat other people in wars. That's common military. It makes perfect sense. Like if you were in the world, there's a saying in the world, I think communists say it. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's common military strategy. That makes perfect sense. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. You don't like them, I don't like them, we should work together. It makes perfect sense. It's logical. Why would you not do that? If somebody, we beefing with the people next door, they keep breaking our windows, keep breaking into our school, and they breaking into this people next door to the barbershop. Why would we come together and you say you watch the back door, we're gonna watch the front door? Matter of fact, we're gonna break into their spot and we're gonna take all our stuff back. That makes perfect sense. But what doesn't make sense is to be an Israelite and to link up with them, because our army is based on the Lord. That's who we follow. That's who delivers us in battle, is the Most High God. It's not the common sense. It doesn't make sense for us to be how we are. None of it makes sense based on our laws to anyone else. We were always the weird ones. Why are y'all acting like this? Why are y'all doing that? Why are y'all not linking up with us? You think y'all better than us? Okay, good luck. That's when y'all gonna die, because y'all don't want to link up with us. But that's what we're supposed to do. We weren't supposed to have faith in what makes sense. We're supposed to have faith in the Lord. But Judas Maccabees lost sight of that and started to have faith in what made sense, and was looking at these Romans like, you know what? Let's make it. I'm tired of dying. I'm tired of fighting. Tired of taking L's. You know what? Let's just get these cats out the way by linking up with them. Sulaki. All right.
Talking, sir.
Go ahead,
At this point, is Rome a spiritually Babylon?
It's an interesting question. Is Rome spiritually Babylon? They always are spiritually Babylon, because that's the prophecy of who they're supposed to play out. You know what I mean? Just like even America to this day, like just because it was 10 pilgrims, you know what I mean? They may not have gotten to the point where they were doing what they're doing. But the moment the Native Americans let them devils touch down, they was coming in the spirit, fulfilling that prophecy that they about to wipe out 100 million of the native, 70 million. You know what I mean? Like that is they manifest destiny. They about to make it happen. So yeah, Rome was, you know what I mean, always going to be Babylon since Daniel and all the prophets. Go ahead, Kakamama.
They were growing into their role, just like America had grown into its role.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Verse 12.
Right. Yeah, where we
But with their friends, such as relied upon them, they kept enmity, and that they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh, and so much as all that heard of their name were afraid of them.
Right.
Also that whom they would help to a kingdom whose reign and whom again they displaced. Finally, that they were greatly exalted. Yet for all this, none of them wore crowned or was clothed in purple, to be magnified thereby.
This is important right here. And after all this, they're doing all this great work, but none of them were clothed in purple, which was the king's color. The Romans didn't have a king initially. They weren't doing that. They didn't really rock with a Caesar. That's what made them different. Everyone else was operating with a king. Sound familiar? America. The Queen of England and the King of England is how they operated. That's like the Greeks to the Romans. The Greeks, the British Empire to America is like the Greeks to the Romans. Similar culture, similar people, really distant cousins, but they figured a new way to run their nation. America said we're not going to have a king that's based on bloodline and you pass it down to your son and son and son. We're going to have a president and you vote him in. And we're going to have senators in Congress. And it explains all of that here. Keep going. And then,
Verse 15. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end they might be well ordered.
Right. That's what separated the Romans from everyone else. Is they had this Senate house. They had like a Congress or, you know what I mean, a big government body that's always consulting and going over the laws of the people. Very organized. Like Judites and black people, Latino people, we don't think or kind of move like that. We have organization, but how Esau does it, you just go to the court system here in America. Docket 125999, pull that one up. Okay, at 11:33, the lawyer, judge, the district attorney said, da, 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 da. Pull it up. They pull. At 12:59, the defense attorney said they got every word, everything, every record, you know what I mean? The Romans were so organized with how they were running the nation. Every day they're going in and going over these laws. And then they did such things that appear righteous because they did things like they did with the Israelites. They say, you know what? You guys just can't kill anybody because you feel like it. Come to us. We have a court system. We're going to judge it. We're going to make sure it's okay. You're not just being emotional and starting a riot and killing some cat because you don't like him. We're going to tell you if it's just or if it's not just. Let us organize this, and we'll be the ones to tell you what's right and what's wrong. And so they had it so organized, and they were peaceable amongst the people that were working with them. It was like America, the land of the free. It's a great place. Why would you hate America? They're welcoming everybody. You can come here, you can get your money. The law system is just, it sounds so good on paper and it looks so amazing on TV. And they make all the other nations seem so horrible and evil. Saddam Hussein is the devil, and the Kim Jong-un in North Carolina, North Korea is so evil. Any other nation, these people are evil. Putin in Russia is evil. But America, it's Joe Biden. He hop on a plane and it's so nice and organized. Yeah. But in reality, how did they gain that empire? What's like? Do you have something I forgot?
No, just what you said. Now it's kind of clear how America built its power, where it gets its pot from, how you got a structure.
Right.
It makes all the system real.
Right. This is the modern day Roman Empire. They rebirthed it. You know what I mean? They brought it back. Everything the Romans did, America tried to take and do it even better. You know what I mean? And go ahead.
Verse 16. And that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them.
That was the president. They voted him in. He rocked for 1 year. He's not like a king that got lifetime power. It's based on who the people choose. And that's how they made their government. And that's where they've got their power from. It seemed like a free society, democracy, or a republic. That's where you really get the word from, a republic. It's not necessarily the people vote. The people vote for the senators, and the senators vote for what's going to be made and what's going to happen. Well, go ahead.
Verse 17. In consideration of these things, Judith chose Eupolemus.
Right, that's a tough one. Yeah.
Judith chose Eupolemus, the son of John, the son of Achaz, and Jason, the son of Eleazar, and sent them to Rome to make a league of amity and confederacy with them.
To do what? To make a what?
A league to make a league of amity and confederacy with them.
To make peace with them and a confederacy with them, an alliance with the Romans. This is how the Roman Empire got its foot in the door. And 100 years later, when Christ is born, now they running everything. We had our own land, we had our own government, we just kicked these Greeks out of here. We had our own leadership. But him, out of fear, decided to join in with the Romans. And the Romans is like a Venus flytrap, or that little Chinese thing they used to give out at birthday party. You put your finger in, and the more you try to pull out, the more it tightens up on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. We thinking if we coming in, we cool, we locking in, we tied in, we together. And next thing you know, they like, take a little bit more, take a little bit more, take a little more. Then they like, nigga, I'll kill you, or I can make you be alive. Which one you want? He like, damn, how do we get here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you if you a high priest or you're not a high priest. I'll put him in charge, I'll take him out of charge. Y'all do whatever we tell you to do. But we started off as a friendly relationship. Go ahead, come on.
It's like I said, you just mentioned all that we had. One of the most important things we also have our own army.
Right. This is important. We ain't had one since. It's like it.
We had the Greeks.
Yeah, that's a cold part. We ain't had one since until ISBK 1969. You understand? That's what's so important. You understand? It's a lot of for holding y'all. And that really brings me to the point that I'm trying to prove with the things that we did in New York. You understand? This mission this past week was, it had, for me personally, in my time in the truth, my short time in the truth, that was the most glorious mission that I have been a part of. You understand? Like, that experience was priceless because, and like I ain't really even thinking that. I ain't said that before right now. I mean, we say it all the time, but just thinking about it like, damn, since this point, Israel has not had a standing army. That's a very important thing that y'all brothers are doing, man. Y'all sisters are supporting them and getting behind these brothers. Y'all really don't understand what's going on, how important this work is, because we have not raised up an army since this point in history over 2,000 years ago. You understand? And they fake Israelites, why? That just comes to my mind. Like, earlier today, I put something in the chat. Something just came up on my feed. And I clicked on it for a second. It's a fake Israelite. They had camp. And some dude brought a gun back to me, gang banging, trying to threaten them. And the camera pan, they got the sister inside the camp. And he telling the dude to shoot him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're not a real army. You guys are making, what are them things called, militias. I remember Captain Tucker Ward said that. He said Christ is not coming back trying to deal with different militias. This group over here and this group over there. He coming back to deal with an army, an actual body. You know what I mean? And that's what the UBK is doing. And so us going to New York, you know what I mean, under Commander Johanna, under all the captains and all the generals and all the captains and all the brothers that orchestrated and made that happen, is to show that the things that America says they're about, they're not about it. The things that America could do, they don't do. Getting there, you're always asking me about it, what happened and what was going on, from a quick just breakdown of my perspective of coming in. Saturday morning, we got to get up, get to our location by 8 o'clock in the morning in New York. catching trains, you're not driving, you know what I mean? Get on subway. So it'll take you an hour and a half, 2 hours to get over there. So we up 5:40 in the morning, leave by 6:30, catch the train in, get over to where it's at. Brothers is all coming together. Captain Akkad out there orchestrating, brothers is showing us how we need to line up, what we're gonna do, what we're gonna walk to, where we're gonna go. When we get over here, we're gonna make a turn here, then there's gonna be a cart there, then we're gonna go from 4 ranks down to 2 ranks, then we're gonna keep marching. You understand what I'm saying? We're practicing all that, saying what we're gonna say, and we got 200 plus brothers, you know what I'm saying, all different Hebrew Academy classes, 2012 all the way up to 2022. You know what I mean? 10 years of Hebrew Academy classes coming together, moving, marching in order and sync. And we standing out there for 2-3 hours before we even go to where the location is at. So certain brothers went and brought clothes to the location around 10, 11 o'clock. That was a shark of pounds or 5,000. Get that brother in. Okay, what's up there? Getting these clothes together, organizing this at the school, dealing with General Katham Bar. Give him a hand as well. You understand? With his mission. And we was in there folding clothes the night before, going through all these clothes. And even from that perspective, I'm like, man, they got little kids' underwear. You know what I'm saying? But this is used underwear. I'm like, damn, should we get it? You know how that looks, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, damn, you ought to get some secondhand underwear ain't the thing. You know what I mean? That's not what anybody wants. You know what I mean? But it's clean and it's something. You know what I mean? It's other things. It was too bad we throw it out, but everything else looked pretty good. We get it. So we folding up all this stuff, man. Getting it together. Big bags here, bags everywhere. Back to the next day. So they take the clothes to the site in front of the immigration building. And the people is coming down to get the clothes while we're over 2-3 blocks away getting in formation and getting ready to come over there. Before we get over there, they said they were fighting over the clothes. Like coming out, you know what I mean? Like taking this, grabbing this, snatching it, not coming in a line. They're not in a single file line. They trying to get you. Come on, get us to my kids, take that. So then all this is going on. We don't know that's going on over there. But we get on order. We going 4 ranks. We start marching. The police shut down a block. They know we about to come through here. So we, boom, come through. Nigga, you know what I mean? Nigga, boo, ha, boo, ha, boo, boo. We hit the corner. We go up the hill. It's a hill. That hill was no joke, man. We stomping. We already been standing up for 4 hours. Mazum Shabbat, Mazum marching back and forth. Yeah, my feet was already hurting. My back was hurting. My knees was hurting. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we took a little break. I'm like, man, I don't know if I should sit down and stand up or stretch. You know what I mean? Like, so that was already something. By the time we going, now we marching on the concrete. We was in grass. And that hurt when you stomping. You know what I mean? Going up the hill. Brothers tired. Some brothers had to fall out of line. Like, nigga, this is no joke. Like, we moving in a fast. We moving at Captain Akkad space. We ain't just doing no line and fall. We see how Captain Akkad march. Everybody's moving like that. It's damn near running. Then he's like, then we're gonna pick it up. Everybody pick it up. So they start calling order, pick it up. We start jogging. You know what I'm saying? Everybody running. You know what I mean? And then we form 2 ranks. Then went for 4 ranks. Fold it down to 2 ranks. Go up the hill, hit the corner, come in. And then we see the brothers on the corner, got all the clothes, people standing outside. They got the camp thing, Captain Ashaparian on the mic speaking in Spanish, telling them, and they just start seeing brothers 2 by 2 march in. Boom. Boom. Babylon is falling. Geronimo. Babylon is falling. You know what I mean? Everybody just stopped. People upstairs, people across the street, people looking. Like, who are these niggas? You know what I'm saying? The kids, mouths is dropping, you know what I mean? We hit the corner, go up the thing, they stop us, you know. Sword, turn, we boom. Mazel Shabbat, and boom. Come back, march back down the hill. Captain Cobb. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go that way. 4 brother. Boom, march, go this way. Boom, 4 brother. Boom, go that way. Or like 6 sets of brothers. Send them this way. Send them that way. Everybody, boom, on the block, on some more, watching the things, handing off the clothes. It wasn't no more fighting over the clothes anymore after that. People was in order. You know what I mean? Somebody might have said something. They like, hey, get him out of here, move around. Everything else of that, women crying, kids looking, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just sitting there in my Shabbat, my feet hurting like I'd have been stepping on fire on hot coals. And it just hit me like, damn, all the things that happened to get to this point. You understand? Like the plane ticket, the being up all night, or the money for this or that. I'm missing from work, or any all that. And then just seeing it there, and it just hit me. I'm like, damn, this is what it was about. I thought I was just going on a mission because they said they needed me there, but I really realized, like, damn, I'm on a mission because the Lord wanted me here. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people needed to see that. They needed us. You know what I'm saying? And every problem that I could think about went out the door. I'm thinking about this couple $100 or this day of work. They're fighting over used clothes. They're fighting over underwear that someone else probably urinated in or pissed in. This is a child's underwear. What the fuck am I complaining about in my life? What am I upset about? Because my feet hurt? They marched from Guatemala and got dropped off on a bus with no ID, no visa, no job, no home, no food, no clothes, diapers for the children. They can't provide. They need help. America is the richest nation on planet Earth. In New York City, where people use a helicopter like it's a taxi cab, but they don't have nothing for them. But we have something for them because we are the army of the Lord. This is the army that was always supposed to be here that Judah Maccabees dropped the ball on. When he made a league with the Romans, when he said they're going to do it. That's what Oprah's doing. America going to handle the Guatemalans. Let the government do it. Let the mayor of New York handle them. Let's vote in a new person to handle this problem. And guess what? They're never going to solve it because they don't care. They say they care. They say it's the land of the free and the dreamers act this and we're a sanctuary city that. But when that really comes to their doorstep, they don't give a damn about these people. And the only reason they may do anything is so that they can get more votes up out of you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's important what we're doing to never get in league with them because they're never going to do what needs to be done to fix our people. Right. And that's our mission. You understand? We got. I'll do 5 more minutes. See how further we can get to verse 8. Chapter 8. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. So heavy, right? And this is the army of the Lord, Israelite school, universal practical knowledge.
That's right.
The adversary is dying for you to drop your sword.
Right.
The adversary is dying for you to hit the goddamn door.
Right.
You understand? But understand this: if you are in this room, if you're in these rooms, you're a young man, you're a student, you're a trooper, you are a sister.
Right.
You were born for such a time as this.
That's right.
That's why now I see why the UBK says it's the Father we fear. Because if these brothers had the zeal of fearing the Father, they wouldn't have never did what they did.
Right.
They didn't fear the Father. They felt the feared the Romans.
Exactly.
It's like,
They feared the Greeks.
Greeks, like,
They feared the Greeks, and they didn't want it with the Greeks no more. And they gave up their fight, and they went with these people that came in and destroyed them. You know what I'm saying? They made peace with someone that sounded friendly and great and got gamed up like a dummy, like a dumb broad, and became a victim of the Romans, to where 100 years later, they completely underneath the foot of these Romans. You know what I'm saying? At first, they thought they were eye to eye and we on equal terms. But the whole time, the Romans is planning on how to push. They not loyal to nobody. That's how Esau's character and behavior is. And we keep falling for this over and over again. We loyal to the Democratic Party that says it's for Black people, for Hispanic people, for feeding these people, but they don't really care about these people. Who should be able to do more for them? Joe Biden or some niggas from Harlem? It doesn't make sense. Like, oh my God. Well, Salaki, man, let me see something real quick. Go ahead and read where you reading
Verse 18.
Yeah, pick up from there.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 18. And to entreat them that they would take the yoke from them.
Right.
For they saw that the kingdom of the Grecians did oppress Israel with servitude. They went therefore to Rome, which was a very great journey, and came into the Senate, where they spake and said, Judas Maccabeus with his brethren, and the people of the Jews have sent us unto you to make a confederacy and peace with you, and that we might be registered your confederates and friends,
Right.
so that the
Go ahead.
So that the matter please Romans well. And this is the copy of the epistle which the Senate wrote back again in the tables of brass and sent to Jerusalem, that there they might have by them a memorial of peace and confederacy.
Mm-hmm.
Good success be to the Romans and to the people of the Jews, by the sea and by the land forever. The sword also and enemy be far from them.
Right.
If there come first any war upon the Romans or any of the Confederates throughout all their dominion, the people of the Jews shall help them.
Shall do what?
Shall help them.
Shall do what?
Shall help them.
One more time from the top.
The people of the Jews shall help them.
They said we're gonna go to war and help anybody that's in alliance with the Romans. If they mess with the Chinese and the Romans go with the Chinese, we're gonna send our men to go and protect Chinese people's lives. If they go and deal and go to war with these Africans, or go to war with the Africans as alliances, we're gonna protect these Africans' lives. We're gonna die on the battlefield next to them. We're gonna send up our men to go protect the Roman Empire. And that's what we do to this day. We send our people into their militaries. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians join the American military army, become Marines, become part of the Navy, become a part of the Army. And we give up our lives to protect the people that are doing what? Doing what? Said it. What was what?
If I may, destroying.
Doing what?
Destroying them.
Doing what?
Destroying them.
We go and protect the people that are destroying us. And this is where it started. Keep going.
Okay. As the time shall be appointed with all their heart, neither shall they give anything unto them that make war upon them, or aid them with victuals, weapons, money, or ships, as it hath seemed good unto the Romans. But they shall keep their covenants without taking anything therefore.
Right. Hold on. Now, when King Solomon was in rulership, we made some deals with some other nations too. And they was right. What's the difference? What's the language that we hearing right here? I'm gonna have the brother read the verse one more time before you read it. What's the difference between King Solomon? We made a lot of deals with other nations. What's the difference? Go ahead.
So like I said,
Mhm.
is it a covenant under someone else?
There you go. We saying, read that verse again.
Come. Verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
Neither shall they give anything unto them that make war upon them, or aid them with victuals, weapons, money, or ships, as it hath seemed good unto the Romans. But they shall keep their covenants without taking anything therefore.
Mm-hmm. Verse 27.
In the same manner also, if war come first upon the nation of the Jews, the Romans shall help them with all their hearts, according as the time shall be appointed them. Neither shall victuals be given to them that take part against them, or weapons, or money, or ships, as it hath seemed good to the Romans.
So the first time it says in verse 26, as it has seemed good to the Roman, like we were basically underneath them. Like they trying to make it sound equal, but it's like we coming up to protect them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we didn't have the army they had. They already got all these other nations underneath them. But when Solomon was in power, the other nations was paying tribute to him. They were coming to him. They were saying, we're going to give this to you. They were saying, we're going to build ships for you. It wasn't, okay, if this happens to us, you come help us. Nah, it was get out later. They was obeying our rulership. We wasn't making no deals with them as far as we're going to go to war with them. Nah, we already went to war with everybody. Y'all underneath us. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. But Esau does it in a way that it sounds equal. It's going both ways. But in reality, if you pay attention, it's to the Romans first. Right. Let's keep going. We're almost done.
Okay. But they shall keep their covenants, and that without deceit.
Mm-hmm.
According to these articles, did the Romans make a covenant with the people of the Jews? Howbeit, if hereafter the one party or the other shall think meet to add or diminish anything, they may do it at their pleasures, and whatsoever they shall add or take away shall be ratified.
Right. So if you want to add something to it or take away something, you can do that. You're free to do whatever you want to do. This is just the things we set up today. But in reality, you try to back up off of them, they're not letting you go. It's like the movies, you know, they's like, yeah, well, I'll give you some dope to go sell it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna front you, I'm gonna put you on. And then you're like, all right, yep, I done made my money, I'm gonna get out the game. What you mean you gonna get out the game? You gonna stop making us money? Nah, you ain't gonna stop selling. You better keep working. You know, you don't got a choice. You thought you had a choice, but at the end of the day, it was never gonna be that way. All right, keep going.
31. And as touching the evils that Demetrius doeth to the Jews, we have written unto him, saying, wherefore hast thou made thy yoke heavy upon our friends and confederates, the Jews?
Man, so this Greek Demetrius doing these evils to them, and they coming to Demetrius like, hey, why you messing with our little homie? Why you messing with our friends? We're gonna come see you about it if you keep messing with them. Basically, they threaten them. Keep going.
32. If therefore they complain any more against thee, we will do them justice and fight with thee by sea and by land.
Right. And so that's how it started, but that was the beginning and the end. And so that's like I said, to bring it all the way home to current times, many of these people are gonna try to make you feel guilty. You don't stand with Palestine, you don't ride with them, you don't go with them, or you don't ride with Israel, you don't go with them, or you don't ride with America, you don't go with them. We need to realize that the only way we're gonna be free is to ride with us. That's it. That's the only one that's going to care about us and worry about us. And there's no reason why that these people that have billions of dollars and trillions of dollars and all this money, they can spend $200 million to Ukraine overnight. They can send a couple billion, 5 billion to Israel overnight. They can do whatever they want to, when they want to, for who they really care about. But when it comes to us, they don't even got underwear for us. They don't even got used underwear for us. They got a factory where they can get all the new underwear if they wanted to. They don't even got used underwear for us. We got to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we here to do. And this is It's a hard job, but it's worth it because the Lord sees this work and he knows that now it's time. He's coming back to a nation that's worthy of fighting for.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because if we're not gonna fight for ourselves, what the heck would he come and fight for us for? If we're gonna be evil and selfish and worry about ourselves for our whole entire lives, then why should he come and put it on the line? You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we gotta do. Gotta do more of. Just wake up and just love each other, man, and realize that I hate to say it like how everybody say it, but shit, we all we got.
Right.
That's for real. Go ahead.
If I may, so faith without work is dead.
Right. That's the mission statement, man. Is to get the works in to help our people. They really sending. I just saw they sending buses. They actually impounding buses in Chicago. They taking immigrants up to Chicago and dropping them off. They taking migrants to DC. They taking them everywhere and dropping them off. Like we could do this in Chicago. You know what I mean? It's the same thing going on over there. And nobody cares about it. Nobody reports on it. LeBron James gonna go still, live his life. Jay-Z gonna still live his life. That's the thing I was looking up for. So like I don't know the number for us, but they said Kyrie Irving gave away like 25,000 pounds of food one time when that whole Kyrie Irving thing was going on. I think I heard that somewhere. But I remember the brothers in St. Louis under Captain DeGaulle, he said a number before, and I know it was in the hundreds of thousands of pounds that we've given out in ISBK St. Louis, food. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how does he get credit? He's worth $30 million getting less food than us when not one of us is a millionaire.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. It sounds good on paper unless you see somebody else do more with less. You know what I'm saying? Like, he sounds like a great guy because he gave out 25,000 pounds of food, but you realize he didn't really give anything because we're doing more with less. So if we had the more, how much more would be given? If we can give out this many clothes to this many people with nothing, imagine what we could do with everything. It'd be a whole different. We built them apartments. It wouldn't even. We built a factory and they make their own clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't even be any struggle. We're not supposed to be struggling. Just gather ourselves together, O nation, not desire. We do that. We good. There's nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? So let's do that. All right. Anybody else? All right. So like pass the class over. Peace and art to you, Rockabor.
Men of Israel, that concludes this Thursday night scripture breakdown class. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amad Shabbat. Amad Shabbat. As a matah. The sword, which means to turn. Sisters, the module, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amad Shabbat.
Yahweh Shemar Atam Bashem Yahushua.
That's the matah.